What's up, Storm fans? Bryant Cook here, and today we are playing Lurrus Lotus Breach like we normally do at this channel. So, over the last few weeks, we've been testing out Gemstone Caverns. Today, we are not playing Gemstone Caverns, but we are playing Cavern of Souls here in our sideboard. Well, why would we be playing Cavern of Souls? That's such a strange card for this deck to be playing. Well, when you combine it with Lier, Disciple of the Drowned, all of your spells become uncounterable. And if you're unfamiliar with Lier, it is 3 blue for a legendary creature that says spells can't be countered. It doesn't affect Lier when it's on the stack, though. So if you make Lier uncounterable, everything is uncounterable. Well, why is that good? Chalice of the Void is becoming more and more popular in these blue decks. This is a way of beating them. And against those Chalice blue decks, they're boarding out their Solitudes, which means that this Lier is really going to get them. But Lier actually has a second ability that says each instant and sorcery in your graveyard gains flashback, a pseudo Past in Flames. And, you know, that's pretty good against the blue decks too. So that's the idea here. We're not playing green for Abrupt Decay or white for Prismatic Ending. We are trying Lier as an alternative, and I'm pretty excited about that. And one of the things about playing no Gemstone Caverns in the main deck is we get to add other lands back in. So I'm already regretting recording this video. We are playing Twiddle West today, a card that I have not been a fan of ever since I've started testing Lotus Field. Get your shots in me now, at me now, whatever. I'm willing to test it, and it makes sense because we can get Cavern of Souls with it, so it helps out with this combo. I think that actually adds quite a bit of value to Twiddle West. Alternatively, it can get Pact of Negation, Mishra's Bauble, and then obviously Lotus Field. I don't mind having a 5th tutor for Lotus Field, especially now that we've gone up to 21 lands. 21 has been this weird spot where we want more than 20. 21 can feel like a lot sometimes. So Twiddle West is this flex spot, seems reasonable. I don't love it. I don't think the card's great, but I've played 3 leagues with it last night, and then, you know, we're going to play this league. I've used it a couple times. It's been fine. So that's the idea behind Twiddle West. Get your cheap shots in. I know that you're probably going to enjoy me playing the card. Oh well. But I do think it's a little bit slow. Like, you can never use this card against Hammer Time. But in the matchups where you want to be transmuting for Twiddle West for Cavern of Souls, it's actually pretty slow. So it plays into what this card wants to be doing. And then sometimes against decks like Hammer Time, if you manage to stall out the game, it can get EE, and that's actually pretty valuable. All right, so the rest of the main deck is pretty stock at this point. One of the things that I really like about playing Grixis is you get 2 basic lands. I love that. It's so good. All these Blood Moons that people are playing recently, 2 basics is just beautiful. Chef's kiss. Why wouldn't you want to play 2 basics? It just makes perfect sense. And then we have these Pact of Negations. We're playing 3 Pact today. My original list I was testing ran no Lurrus, and then Lier in the main deck. I did not like that, but it gave you a 4th Pact in the board. Ultimately, I think that this is just better than what I was testing previously, so this is what we're playing today. There is this little bit of friction with Lier, though. So with Lier, all spells can't be countered. Both yours and your opponent's. It is symmetrical. It is not one-sided. That is not fire-like. So that's changed a little bit. So what this means is, if you cast Lier and it resolves, and then you go to cast Twiddle, your opponent can then play Endurance and you cannot pact it. Keep that in mind. So it is, you know, symmetrical. You can be burned by your own card, and that's part of the reason we're not playing 4 Pact today. 3 Pact is probably a good number against those Force and Negation Endurance decks. You can board in Lier there, but it can be dangerous. I'm just giving you a warning, so keep that in mind. We have the second Void Snare back to board in against those Blood Moon decks, so then you'll have 1 Echoing Truth, 1 Void Snare, and then Fatal Push. Fatal Push is a concession to the Hammer Time decks. I've been playing a lot recently trying to fine-tune this deck. I think that this deck is pretty close to being optimal, and I just want to find that list. So I keep on losing the Hammer Time, where I'm keeping hands that win the game on turn 3, and then I'm dying on turn 2. You might be thinking, Bryant, well, that's not typical. It keeps happening to me. Over the last 2 weeks, I've been turn 2'd 5 times. It stinks. It doesn't feel good. So I wanted to fight back a little bit. We're playing Fatal Push again instead of extra bounce spells, because boarding in Void Snare and Echoing Truth against Hammer Time does not feel good at all. So instead, we have these Fatal Pushes that are just blowouts. The downside of playing Fatal Push is that it could be something like Abrupt Decay, Prismatic Ending. I don't like bounce spells that much after Void Snare and Echoing Truth, so I probably don't want to play those. But they don't answer things like Relic of Progenitus, Grafdigger's Cage, that sort of stuff. So, or Alpine Moon, which is a common card that Prismatic Ending answers. So you have to make concessions here or there. Prismatic Ending isn't as good against Hammer Time when they animate the Ring Moth and just murder you to death. So you win some, you lose some. You have to pick and choose which card that you think is ultimately best for you and the metagame. So I am trying Fatal Push today because I would like to stay Grixis. Grapeshot back in the board. I know some of you like don't watch every Lotus or Lurrus Breach video, and that's fine. You don't have to. But a bunch of you commented on the last one about Thassa's Oracle, even though I covered it in the deck tech. Thassa's Oracle has this problem where if you're playing it in the board, there will be games where you can't Thought Scour yourself cleanly, then escape Wish into Thassa's Oracle. You just don't have enough resources to do that. And it happened to me twice in one league, and then I was like, oh, it's probably just a fluke. And then it happened again in the next league. So I don't think it's a fluke. I just don't think I want to be playing Thassa's Oracle. It's a liability, and I've yet to be burned by Grapeshot. So I'm a Grapeshotter. It's what I'm here to do. I want to cast my Storm spells. That's it. We have to make room for Lier, so the third Eve left. But I think that Lier is good enough because, you know, those blue-white Chalice decks could always leave in Supreme Verdict to make Eve not as good, where Lier just gives you a win the game instantly sort of effect, and I'm a big fan. That's the deck list. I hope you enjoy it. A little bit longer of a deck tech today, but I really just want to explain the thought process behind this monstrosity of a deck list, and I hope that you enjoy it. And actually, since I've had this idea for about 4 or 5 days, I was able to place an order for these. I don't know how well you can see them. Japanese foil Liers. I picked these up before the Pro Tour spike. Pretty happy about it. So I have my Liers. That's how sold I am that these are actually a good card. They arrived in the mail today, just in time for me to showcase them in this video. But yeah, get your Liers. I think that they might be the real deal. Who knows? I could change my mind in a week. You never know with me. But yeah, and if you want to support this content, like, comment, subscribe, all free and easy things to do. Why wouldn't you want to do that? We have our memberships where you can unlock badges, emotes, deck techs, or not deck techs, cyborg guides, and donation decks, all sorts of stuff in there. That is the join button next to the subscribe button. And then you can always go directly to theepicstorm.com/donation decks to submit your combo deck to be featured here on this very YouTube channel. Theepicstorm.com/shop for card singles as well as Sweet Store merchandise. That's my intro. That's what I've got. I'll see you in match number 1. Don't go anywhere. Welcome to match number 1. We're revealing our Lurrus and we lost the die roll, so we will be on the draw. Inquisition, Wishclaw to get Lotus Field. We just need to draw a second land. This hand's a little bit risky, but we just flat out win the game realistically. I mean, obviously things could go awry, but land number 2 is a really good start to winning this game. I'm going to keep this just because I think that the potential's so high, and our opponent's taking a mulligan as well. Okay, opponent, let's go. Watery Grave. Okay. And there's land 2. Love it. Get our own copy of Watery Grave and cast Inquisition. Is it just white-black Reanimator? Oh no, why would I say that? They put Watery Grave into play. It's Esper Reanimator, clearly. Ignore me. Pretty good draw for the opponent. We can beat Sarah's Emissary. I'm not super worried about that. We have an Echoing Truth. We can also wish for Void Snare. We have some options. Another Underworld Breach was not what the doctor ordered. Alright, Wishclaw Talisman. Another Chart a Course. Arcana of Cruelty was discarded. Underworld Cookbook, sure. Twiddle Effect or Lotus Field? Another land. think we're supposed to actually play the land here. Just past the turn. So it didn't matter that this land was Teleria West. Even an untapped land wouldn't have been great there. So just any land allows us to win next turn. So we just have to hope that we get to untap next turn unscathed. No point in trying to dream script one of their lands. Like, that just doesn't matter. And we need that dream script to be able to win on our turn, so you don't want to waste a resource doing that. And our opponent's going to pass. We do have this Pact Negation if they're holding up a counter spell of some sort. Draw. Yeah, I think we're supposed to go for it here. I just want to make sure. So we'd activate Wish Claw. Sacrifice these two. Dream's Grip. I think we're actually short. Because we have 5 cards in the graveyard, we can escape once, but we want to be able to escape twice for Wish into Scour. Let's expand our sideboard here. I feel like it's almost better here to just Wish, Tome Scour myself, and then win next turn. Okay. Wish. And if they counterspell this, sure. Alright, so now we Tome Scour ourselves. And now next turn we'll have plenty of fuel to win the game. Okay, can we live another turn? What's the opponent doing here? Faithful Mending. Makes sense. Asmoran. Kind of cute to combine that into this deck. I don't hate it. 5 mana now, so they can bring back their priest. And it has haste, so they can immediately sacrifice it to return a creature. Probably the Seer's Emissary, if I had to guess. Shocking. Sorcery. Kind of expected that to be the name. We do have an Echoing Truth in our main deck that I can just combo off with. Beautiful draw. Couldn't have planned it any better. Okay. So now we're going to Dream Script. Untap the Lotus. Tap for red. Breach. And it should be easy peasy from here. I'm just wondering if I want to Wish Claw for the Echoing Truth now. Because it's going to save me an escape later. Alright, grab the Echoing Truth. Tap this for blue. Goodbye, Seer's Emissary. Now we Tome Scour ourselves. And now it's just going through the motions. So if you're unfamiliar, 2 Tome Scours and 1 Twiddle effect I consider to be a loop. And by a loop, I mean you get to mill 10 cards and you've added 1 card to your graveyard within this loop. So you Scour, Scour, Twiddle, you make 3 mana, you get to mill 10, and you gain a card on each loop. Eventually you can gain enough cards to you know, cast extra spells in the middle. That's pretty much the idea. Okay, so we just have to execute it at this point. Okay, so I'm now at Storm 12. I have 14 cards left in my library, which is just 3 Tome Scours left. So we can do that, or we can start counting our graveyard into eventually wishing. And I think you, at 14 cards left, you might as well just continue to mill. Because you need to build up some Storm anyway. So you either have to double Grapeshot or you have to cast more spells. If you're going to cast more spells, it makes sense to Tome Scour more. Alright, so now we Twiddle. Twiddle again. Alright, so that's from 17. We can cast Wish and a Grapeshot. Easy peasy. We do have a food token hidden over here, but no mana to activate it. Alright, and we've taken game number 1 over Esper Reanimator. I don't think we want the Lier Cavern package here. I just don't think that's going to be super useful. Void Snare seems like a card I'd be interested in. Maybe the Pact? Not sure. I think I just want to board out a Wish here. Let's try that out. Once again, reveal our Lurrus. Solid hand. Keep. Okay, what do you have in store, Reanimator? Turn 1, Thoughtseize. I wanted to cast that Visions. Well, lucky me. Grab the basic. I need to take extra damage. Tome Scour here is actually decent. I know that seems strange, but if you think about how this works, Wishclaw gets Lotus Field, Wishclaw gets Breach. We still have to find a way to mill ourselves, and Tome Scour is that way. Alright, they've used the cook. Well, they played the cookbook. And they have the Oval Chase combo that I don't really care about. Yep. Alright, so we drew the known Scour. Now we're just casting our Wishclaw and passing the turn. Chart, of course, okay. Oval Chase Daredevil. Makes sense. And now 2 devils come back. No drawback. It's crazy. It's like they attacked with a creature this turn. Okay. Draw. Bobble. I'm gonna bobble myself. I want to see if there's land on top. There's not. So right now, I have an interesting decision on whether or not I want to try to consider into a land or just play the claw. I think the Twiddle on top is actually fairly good, so I'm just going to play that out and pass the turn. Next turn, I believe I should have a win. And that win, the extra Twiddle actually helps quite a bit. So we're going to tap Island, go get Lotus Field, and then we can Twiddle that Lotus Field 3 times, use Wishclaw Talisman, go get Breach, play Tome Scour, mill our deck, Grapeshot our opponent. Discard spells or counter spells can definitely disrupt that. Okay. So they're doing their whole Daredevil thing, which is fine. These food tokens don't really matter to me. There's the Asmo. Getting another cookbook? Sure. Alright, it's go time. Now we get Lotus Field. Play the field. Twiddle. They're F6'd. Twiddle. And Twiddle. Tap for red. Underworld Breach. Okay, should be easy peasy from here. Tap, and now we have the Scour from hand because we're just super lucky. It's kind of a waste to cast these Considers when we can just Tome Scour ourselves a bunch. When it's at 60. Just trying to think if there was a Wish in the graveyard if we could win already. Okay, untapping field. Do it again, why not? From 11. We just have to find one of our wishes. Scour. Scour. There's Wish. Twiddle. Okay, let's Twiddle again. This is the least exciting part of playing this deck. I find the deck to be very interesting up until you get to the point where it's deterministic, and let's be honest, your opponents aren't obligated to concede. So you just have to go through it. And that part to me isn't as interesting, but I still love playing the deck. And Grapeshot. Click, 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 click. Boom! 1-0. Crazy. Match 2 coming right up. Welcome to match number 2. We are on the play. Let's get it. Reveal our cat companion. The classic Lotus Field nothing hand. Bummer. I don't love this hand either. So, Tome Scour is a little bit of a mulligan. Echoing Truth is a little bit of a mulligan. Inquisition's fine, it's just, I don't know if that's really what we want to be doing. And then Wish is kind of clunky. So you'd really be keeping this hand because it's 2 lands and Serum Visions. And I think I can do better on a 5. Sure. Put back a Twiddle and try this out. It's going to be difficult, but we can pull it out. Alright, Inquisition. Do we just, like, let them have the artifacts? I think so. That Saga is going to be a problem. Alright, Mishra's Bauble, and they drew Relic. Jerk. We mulligan to 5, and they just draw their best card against us. What a shame. Fine. So our plan's probably to Ave now, and we're so far away from that. See if we can hit a land here. We did hit a very good land, but now we need to find another land. Alright, Saga. Exile the Inquisition. Yep. Alright, Visions. I don't know where I want that land to go. I think on the bottom. Alright, let's fire this off. I don't know if there's any targets left in their hand. Yeah. Burned. Mulligan to 4. Alright, so Saga goes to 2 counters. Another Saga. We're just so far away from being able to win this. Okay. I think I just want to play out the field. I understand that we're putting, you know, possible escape cards to the graveyard, but it's more mana efficient to start on it, so doing that. And there's a big construct token. I wonder if there's a way for me to cheese my opponent. Like if they tap low on mana, maybe I could do it. Oh, they have 2 main deck relics. I don't know about that then. Alright, Thought Monitor. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to cheese them. Leaving up 3 mana, it's just so many. If they like tapped down to 1 mana, I might have stood a shot of winning, but definitely not now. Yeah, I'm just dead. Because they can make another construct on the end step, and that just does me in. Alright. Lost game number 1. I think we probably want to use this Explosives. Void Snare, those all seem like reasonable cards. I wonder if we just like get rid of the Visions. They also have counter spells, which is kind of tough. You could also just like bring in Cat instead of the Pact. I don't hate that. Let's try it out. Recurring Explosive sounds nice against the artifact deck. Alright, we're on the play for game number 2. Oh yeah, I forgot, we boarded in the Lurrus. That's how that works. This seems fine. Here we've opened up our 21st land, Tularia West. I think here it's just sacrifice to Lotus Field fodder. We could normally cast Consider on one, but it's a tap land, so that Consider is going to have to be a later game play. Okay, Tularia West and pass the turn. Okay, they played the bridge. Law. Ooh. I was not expecting Damping Sphere. I'm definitely not playing out Lotus Field now, that's for sure. Consider? Yes. Very hateful deck. Main deck relics and sphere? Jeez. Meth? Sure. Portable hole. Which means that they can hit our Wish Claw next turn. I think I'm not going to crack the Delta. Portable hole is a little bit concerning. But I guess like we do have an EE in our deck, so if we happen to E for 1, we could get our claw back. Yep. Alright, so we're taking 3 here. Time is running out. We're still pretty far away from winning. Draw. Breach wasn't awful. I think I'm just gonna, like, burn the wish to play Cavern as a land here. Okay. Name Wizard. Make them think that maybe I have Oracle or something. No point in naming yours, like it just doesn't matter. Okay. Going to 10 here, getting a little bit low on life. So this is going to get bigger when they make a construct and then again on their turn. So this is going to be a 6/6. And then, so our opponent's representing lethal right now. Jeez. I don't think I'm ready to win. So I can activate Wishclaw, go get Void Snare. Void Snare the Damping Sphere. Play Lotus Field. I can play Breach, but I can't do anything post-Breach. I think I'm dead. I think they've got me. Damping Sphere is just too much. And that's already lethal. I forgot about all the artifact lands. Yep. I don't even know why I'm sitting here. We're already dead. I just want to see if they get something other than the relic. Needle. Okay. I was just curious. Okay, 1 and 1. Womp womp. Okay, so that round didn't go very well, but we're back with another round, a new opportunity to not stink. And we're on the play again, so let's see if we can manage this one. Okay, our opponent is also a cat person. A pair of Lurrus have been revealed. We're going to try this. We already have a Lotus Field lined up with Wishclaw Talisman. Wish can be our, our Breach, but also our Tome Scour, so seems reasonable. We have 4 cards that quickly go to the graveyard to enable this as well. Let's start off on Bobble, see if we can scry into Consider here. That would be nice. Breach. Well, I'm going to keep Breach. Another Bobble, and pass. Now we can use this other Bobble to scry with our fetch land as well. Mill. Excuse me. Tough matchup. A very tough matchup. They have main deck Surgicals that just happen to crush us. And we are very likely going to help them cast the Shelldock Isle. Okay, Bobble. Don't need another Breach though, so we're going to get rid of that. Classic. Yep. And they've milled the field, so if they have Surgical here, we are dead on turn 1. Alright, you want to mill me again? Okay, Wishclaw. And now we just have to pray that there's still a Lotus Field left to activate for. Actually, is that good enough? Did I mess up by not playing Steam Vents? So I have to activate to go get Field. Twiddle, Breach. Yeah, actually, the Steam Vents didn't matter. So we want to draw Twiddle or Lotus Field here. That's dunk. Not sure what the play is here. I think it's just go get Cat. In case the scheme goes longer. Are we about to get Tasha's out? Fractured Sanity. Okay, not Tasha's. This is a good opportunity for us to try to win here. Alright, Lotus Field. Blue. Okay. Twiddle. Untap. Tap this for red, this for blue, which is one of the reasons that we play the Steam Vents in the deck to begin with. This sort of line right here. And we have plenty of food, thanks to them milling us. And what we want to do is just like escape away our wishes so that Surgical doesn't matter. Probably should have done that on the first one. But it looks like they don't have main deck Surgical anyway. Now we just need to make a whole bunch of storm. Raising that storm count. Let's Inquisition our opponent. Okay, so they are black. Maybe they just didn't draw into surgical. From 7. Alright, let's tap this for red. We should have a pretty easy win here. And Grapeshot. And then we just have to escape Grapeshot. And that's game number 1 over Mill. I don't hate the fatal pushes just to kill crabs. I don't know if that's really a great game plan, but it's on the menu. Lier actually seems pretty good here, so I'm definitely going to board that in. I don't love Echoing Truth in the matchup. That can go. Probably want to board in a win condition and Grapeshot, and then probably Ave to dodge graveyard stuff so we don't have to breach win every game. And that's 66, which is just a lot. So I think realistically we probably don't board in the fatal pushes. What else? Probably maybe board out Considers, because our opponent's going to be milling for us. That said, I think Serum Visions is actually pretty stinky against mill since the scries don't matter. Could try both Aves. Let's give it a whirl. We have Wish Claw, but this hand just doesn't do enough, unfortunately. Sure. I don't like this hand either, for what it's worth. Going to bottom one of these wishes. Pluto Delta into probably Crab. Yep. Another Inquisition was not a good draw. Alright, let's just take the Surgical, probably. Alright, so they missed their land at least off their draw step. I'm just going to play Claw here. Okay. They found a land. I don't mind a little bit of mill. It's just once the surgical start happening, that's when it gets dicey. Alright, well, we mill the Lotus Field. So their hand is Drown and One Unknown. I guess let's peek at the top of their deck. See what they're drawing. Alright, so they're drawing a mill 18. Pretty good. Let's Inquisition. So part of me wants to just go get Lotus Field right now. What I'm afraid of, I guess if they mill 18, if they're smart, they'll use Wish Claw and then get Surgical and Surgical my breaches, and it just becomes very difficult to win. We have Ave, which allows us theoretically to win, but it's probably not going to beat Triple Crab. We also have Lier in the deck, and Lier could theoretically win it for us, but I would need just some lucky draws. Yeah. All I draw are these Inquisitions. Okay. They milled the Grapeshot. Also, they just have like a Relic or something that wrecks me. Alright, so they're using Wish Claw. And they went after Breach. So we still have the Breach in the sideboard. So we're not out of it because that's still available to us. So I'm just trying to think. So we're going to start off on 4 mana. I can Underworld Breach for a Twiddle effect, assuming that there's still one in our deck. So that will bring us down to 3, plus 2 up to 5. I would actually need 6 mana to win with Underworld Breach, so we don't have the win yet. There's the orb. I'm going to mill 2 here. 1 for Lotus Field, 1 for Wish Claw. Okay. We mill 2. Bobble. I didn't want to draw that anyway. Tarn. Come on, Twiddle. Hey! I think we just won. So let's untap this. Red. Go get Underworld Breach. All of our Twiddles have a built-in Dragon Reach channeler right now, where we get to mill our top card. Okay. Can't believe this. We're going to beat Mill. Also, we had kind of a bad draw, but I think our opponent's draw never really came together either. Okay. We're at 13. I can just double Grapeshot from here. Grapeshot number 1. Sure. And Grapeshot number 2. Escape those. Alright, so that puts us up to 2-1 in this modern league. Let's see if we can get the last two. Match number 4. It's on its way. Okay, revealing our Lurrus. And let's just hop right on in and play some Magic the Gathering. Both players having cats. We don't have access to Lotus, but we do have a Consider. I mean, if we find Lotus, this hand is bananas, so I'm going to try it out. We're on the draw. What could possibly go wrong, right? Like, we're never going to get punished here. Yikes. Burn. Oh, it's hammer time. My friend Alex McKinley was actually running Red-White Hammer last night and came to the conclusion that red was not better than black. Some players right now are trying red for like Burrow's Charm and Magnetic Theft, but Alex at least came to the conclusion that it wasn't as good. Let's hit that Stone Forge. Stop them from getting the hammer, hopefully. Why did I open up my fat mouth? Jeez. We're just dead. I guess I can tap it. Wow. Alright, so let's tap the Memnite. And now they can play Giver of Runes and they'll have protection next turn. Looking for Echoing Truth off this Consider. Because you can Echoing Truth the Memnite, and then the hammer is just stuck in play not doing anything. Yes, I'd like to mill that. Normally I'd be thrilled with the Lotus Field. I guess if we draw another Twiddle effect here, we'd be okay. Come on, deck. Or Underworld Breach. That's not going to get enough. Having to burn the Twiddle to stay alive got me. I guess I can like theoretically consider into Echoing Truth. Nope. Okay. And we get to use the Fatal Pushes that are in our sideboard for this specific matchup. Get rid of these packs. I think I like this for boarding. I don't really want to draw multiple Inquisitions ever, so 2 seems like a reasonable number. Yeah, let's just submit this and see how it goes. Alright. On the play. Revealing our cat. This hand is fine. Let's keep it. And I'm going to bobble our opponent just because it doesn't matter if we look at our top card. I need to cast Inquisition on one anyway. So I don't get the luxury of scrying with the fetch land with the Mishra's Bobble. Alright, so we might as well look at their top card, make a better educated decision. Giver of Runes, sure. And okay. Take the Sentinel. What I like about leaving the Wear Tear is it forces the opponent to leave up mana. Giver, yep. And they might actually just shatter our Wishclaw here. Which isn't the end of the world because we're pretty close to just having the win. Yep. So that's 5 cards, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that enough? Oh well, that's definitely enough. Okay, so it looks like we just have a turn 3 here. How does it feel, opponent? How does it feel? I've just been getting Goldfish so much by Hammer recently. where like I keep turn 3 hands and I die on turn 2. And I'm not talking just about like this match. It's been a bunch recently where I've been getting turn 2'd a lot, and I feel like it's not very probable, but here I am just getting annihilated, so I am probably wrong. Okay, so we twiddle, and then we twiddle again, and tap, and now we wish. I guess we can use the red. Leaves a twiddle in our graveyard. Then we get Tome Scour, and we have the loop. Okay. Twiddle. Okay, we just have to finish executing it from here. From 14. No, I don't want to select Tome Scour. You silly mouse. Alright, it's from 15. 10 cards allows me to twiddle, twiddle, wish. Grapeshot. So that should be perfect. Might as well get rid of the Void Snare. Red. Now we escape wish. And a Grapeshot. Woot woot. Alright, Fatal Push not needed for that game. So, I am not 100% confident in this list, if I'm being completely honest. Like, when I lost round number 2, I couldn't help but think to myself, well, if those pushes in the board were prismatic endings, would I have been better off? So, the problem is that Fatal Push is so much better against Hammer than prismatic ending due to the instant speed aspect. So, I'm a little torn. That's what it comes down to. Just because, like, Fatal Push is so much better. It's on color, so it's a lot better against Burn as well. And Burn's very popular. So, you're weighing, do you want to be better against Hammer Time, the second most popular deck in the format, Burn, the fourth most popular deck in the format, or do you want to be able to beat random blue affinity decks with Damping Spheres? And I think the real answer is you just want to be better against the winner's metagame, which would be Hammer Time and Burn. So I think Fatal Push is correct. I'm just not 100% sure yet. Ink Moth Nexus into what? Drum, okay. Mem Knight. Sure. Granite Magistrate. It's a pretty good Fatal Push target, assuming that they don't try to hammer murder me. But I think if they were going for a hammer murder, maybe they would have played Sigarda's Aid. Yep. Okay. Alright, we're going to Fatal Push the Granite Magistrate. So this is a little bit risky, but we're going to tap out for Wishclaw here. You could take 2 to get a red source, but I don't think that's necessary, and it just means that you're closer to death from a hammer. Looks like they have the Wear Tear again. Yep. 1 card left in the opponent's hand. We have another backup claw, so it's not the end of the world. Visions. Ooh, Field on top. We can get rid of the Wish, though. Just trying to think. We have... I think I'm not supposed to play Echoing... Or I'm not supposed to play Claw, because I can keep up Echoing Truth to make sure I don't die. There's no 2-card combination that kills me here. Or 1-card combination. Alright, I'm going to play the Wishclaw then. Saga plus 1 other card doesn't win. Okay. Lurrus. We should have it. Cast for Twiddle. Red. Go get Tome Scour. Twiddle the field. And at this point, it's just executing. And if you can, I like leaving open 1 mana just in case you mess up somewhere. Alright, we're midway through at this point. Sorry, I've been quiet so that way it gets edited out a little bit, but I just feel like narrating through all this stuff just like isn't very interesting. Please forgive me. All right, we're at Storm 13. We need 4 more. So Twiddle, Wish, Grapeshot does it. Probably just cast this Visions too, doesn't hurt. Alright, Wish. Alright, so now we've cast Wish. Storm 16. For good luck, let's Fatal Push. Get out of here, Giver of Runes. And then Storm 18, all at them. So Fatal Push didn't actually end up mattering a whole lot. We did get to kill a Drannith Magistrate on their end step, but no kill something in response to a hammer or anything like that. 3-1. We haven't really got to use Lier yet, which is a little bit disappointing, but maybe we will in match 5. Stick around. Hopefully we get to cast that sweet, sweet 5-drop. The 5th and final match, and we are on the play. Reveal our cat companion once again. Pretty solid hand. We're going to try this. Keep. Our opponent does not have a companion. And I think I'm going to bobble myself here. Alright, well I don't want to Wishclaw anyway, so let's just Inquisition. Ugh. Okay, so Jeskai tempo. We can just hit the Ragavan here. I'm not sure if you're supposed to do the Lier package here, if I'm going to be honest. I'm leaning no, but maybe for the sake of this video, I'll board it in against this deck. Just so that way we can use Lier. Problem is that Unholy Heat just kills Lier so easily, but I'm guessing that's a card that gets boarded out. Okay, so I think we're not supposed to play Claw here because it just eats it to ending. So instead we're going to Inquisition, then next turn play Claw plus Lotus Field. Is a Thought Scour. Yep. Lands for days, just like you deserve. Pass the turn. Although if they rip a Murktide, I'm not going to be feeling too good about my trash talk. Okay. No Murktide. Talisman. And Field. Pass. Okay. I think we're just passing here. We don't have enough mana to win the game, so no point in trying. Alright, so they played a card that we didn't know about. So they have 2 unknowns. Should have played a Scalding Tarn there. Consider. I was hoping for a Twiddle. Consider. The reason to cast this main phase, we're going to bin the land, but if we draw another land, that means that we get to play a second Lotus Field next turn. Scour. Cast it, why not? Still no Twiddles. Okay. Yeah, we just have to pass. Course of Iteration. We don't have that much time left. I really do need to find a Twiddle so we can win. We're over a third of the way through our deck and there's 8 Twiddles in our deck, so realistically we probably should have found one by now. And they have Counterspell mana up. We do have Impact and Negation, but does Misty do it here? I'm not sure. So this is 5 plus 1 is 6. That should do. Go get that lovely white bordered Twiddle. Just as Richard Garfield created, which isn't true at all. Twiddle was black border then. But buy into my lies. Wish. Oh no. You gotta pack that up. Okay, now we cast Underworld Breach. Should be easy from here. I don't even think we need a Scour Loop. I think we just have enough stuff in our graveyard where I can wish in a Grapeshot. From 7. From 8. And now we can wish double Grapeshot. Oh, cancel. Wish. from 9. Grapeshot. Okay. You just have to escape Grapeshot once and then game 1 is over. And Grapeshot again. Wooch wooch. Jeskai tempo. What legacy decks are doing right now, adding in white to go slightly larger in the mid-range war against the opposing deck. I also have to imagine that ending's pretty good against the blue-white deck too. Hitting, you know, Chalice or Teferi, those sort of things. Alright, so I think we want the Ave, we want Lier. Let's bring in the Cavern. Let's see how that pans out for us. Probably want Void Snare for theoretical Alpine Moon. I think we also want these Fatal Pushes. I'm not as sold on these. But I think the goal is to just like slow the game down, and if that's the case, I think we're supposed to bring in Fatal Push. Something like this. But this is really risky boarding out 8 cantrips. If you're boarding out Bobble, I think you're supposed to keep Serum Visions. Alright, I'm just not going to board and push. We can board out 1 Wish, call it a day. In theory, you could board out the 22nd land. I'm not against it. It's something you can do. But Cavern isn't really a land. Like, it is. It sacks the Lotus Field, but it doesn't do anything unless you're combining it with Lier. Okay, Steam Vents into... Okay, not Monkey. I'll take it. Monkey to the bin. Milling Archmage Charm. I like it. Yep. Another Lotus Field. Didn't need that. I'm just gonna fire off this Inquisition. I don't care. Like, you could consider, but if they're sitting on Alpine Moon, I don't want to get punished. Murktide. So they're gonna have turn 2 Murktide Regent. That hurts. Fast clock from the opponent. We could maybe have a turn 3 if we draw into a way of finding Tome Scour. Right, going to 14 here. So if they play Murktide, it's going to be a 5/5. Yikes. I mean, I guess I get to play my Lotus Field out. Come on, EE off the top rope. Consider. Technically, it finds our answer, but I don't think it's fast enough. Alright, I'm gonna keep it. So, I'm just trying to think of how this will work. We're going to 11. That Murktide is going to be a 5/5 at the moment. Unless they drew a cantrip. Then I can play another Lotus Field, Wish Claw, activate Claw, bounce spell. Maybe we stand a shot. Depends on what the rest of their hand is, but there's a chance. Come on, deck. Be good to me. Another Wish Claw. Alright, and the Dragon Rage Chandler lost Delirium, at least for the short term. 2 cards left in hand. Taking 6, so that's going to put me to 5. Is this another dragon? Feels like another dragon. Yeah, you need another card to delve. My concern here is that I think that their last card is Counterspell. And if the last card's Counterspell, I'm just dead. Back to negation. Yes! Holy smokes. Did we just do this? Alright, so we use Wish Claw, we go get Void Snare. Void Snare the Alpine Moon. I dare you to Counterspell. Do it. Normally the card's lights out. Not right now. You dead. You dead. Wow. I haven't seen a Blossoming Calm in a while. Okay. Untap. We've just got it. As long as I don't mess this up. Tome Scour. Feel a little bit bad that I didn't really get to showcase Lier at all this league, but I will take a 4-1 where I also smashed a deck with Alpine Moon and Blossoming Calm. Get rid of that Void Snare. We're not going to need that anymore. Twiddle to untap. And they're at 13, so I can just Twiddle, Wish, Grapeshot. Actually, I don't even need to Twiddle twice. I can just cast Wish now. Okay. And Grapeshot. That's all, folks. 4-1. Close this out. Look at that. Thing of beauty. I'm sorry we didn't get to use Lier, or really the Cavern, but I just like being Grixis. I really do. And this gives you another way of being able to be Grixis while beating the blue Chalice nonsense. It's also pretty good against Force and Negation for what it's worth. So keep that in mind. But like I said in the intro, Pact of Negation doesn't work well with Lier for some things like Endurance. I've also had the idea of if you want to play a similar package, excuse me, to this, you could actually play Prismatic Ending with Beseiju and just add a colorless into the mana cost. The problem is Beseiju doesn't really work at all well with the rest of the deck. You could actually use it with Echoing Truth to answer Chalice of the Void, but all of the rest of your spells can be countered. Same thing with Prismatic Ending. Here, when you have Cavern Lier, none of their other counters in hand are going to matter, and that blue-white deck should be boarding out Solitude, which means that Lier should be just a KO. Let me know what you think. Maybe this deck list isn't great. I don't know if this will be my final iteration, but I'm always interested in community feedback. So if you have any thoughts, ideas, questions, whatever, comment down below. That's all I have. Thank you. You're beautiful. Keep storming and have a great day. Thank you for watching. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.